Hey there, and welcome back to the Application Insider YouTube channel. Today, I'm excited to share with you an example of a free brainstorm call. The brainstorm call is a call that I offer to any dietetics student who just has 20 minutes to spare and is willing to put their name on my calendar. This is a great way to get some insider insight to the application that you are putting together if you've already started working on it, or just to make sure you get off on the right track, even if you haven't set up a Dicas account at all. In the brainstorm call, you can ask any questions that come up in your application journey and get answers from a former DI director to make sure that you have everything you need to move forward in the direction of an application that is sure to stand out. So in today's brainstorm call, I am speaking with Allison. Our chat was in June 2021 as she was putting together her application, getting ready to submit in the fall 2021 match, actually in a pre-select period, so a little bit earlier than the typical deadline for the match. You will hear in our call that by the time we had our chat, Allison had actually made a lot of progress on her application on her own. So we talked about what parts of the application she had already completed and what she was looking for to make sure it would be ready to submit on time and with her full confidence that it was the best application she could put together. So that comes up in our conversation. I just want to let you know that you don't have to be halfway through your application or really in any sort of specific percentage of progress by the time you get your brainstorm call on the calendar. We can chat before you get started, we can chat anywhere along the way, and we can chat as you are getting ready to submit. This free brainstorm call could be useful anywhere along the journey. You will also hear during our chat that Allison and I talk about some of the other application insider guidance options that she has looked at because she's already anticipating ways that she and I could work together to make sure her application really does stand out in all of the ways it can. You don't have to have that in your plan moving forward if you're not quite ready to that step. I do want to let you know that with your brainstorm call, you will get a summary of everything we talk about, plus a video recording of our Zoom call. And along with the summary, I will send you a link for any of the application insider guidance options that might be a good fit for you. This doesn't mean you have to be obligated to buy them. I just want you to know what's available and what is pertinent to the questions that you asked or the application sections that you were maybe the most concerned about. So I shared those in my call with Allison, and she got them in her summary so she could make sure they were a right fit for her moving forward on her application. I will let you know, a few months after our brainstorm call, Allison did purchase an Ask Me Anything call, which is another one-on-one call that I offer. And it's a great way to get a live review of your application. So after Allison and I chatted in this call, she kept working on her application, put on some of the finishing touches. And then we had an Ask Me Anything call later in the summer as she was really getting close to the date that she wanted to submit. And that was a great way to just make sure that all the updates she made to her application were right on track and would definitely help her stand out. Spoiler alert, Allison did get a pre-select spot to the program that she was most excited to apply to. And that's the best outcome anyone could hope for, right? I am so glad that after our 2 calls together, Allison had that confidence in her application and that it really pulled through and got her a pre-select spot in the program she was most excited about. So with that information, let's go into the brainstorm call so you can see what it's all about. Let's meet Allison.
And this is great. The Zoom, like I was like, oh, I for a second, I was like, is she going to call? Are we going to do Zoom? And then I saw the Zoom link. I was like, perfect. So
yeah, no, this actually works out really well. So
yeah. Okay. So basically I am in good shape. I started this pretty early. So I have everything filled out in diecast right now. Yeah, I wanted to get it early. I'm definitely like a, head of the game kind of person. I finished my personal statement. I have a little list here that I wrote down. My neighbor is a professor at the university here. She's just an English professor. So she edited it for me. Yeah, I was really lucky. And I do right now, I'm a massage therapist and I do some like health stuff. So we kind of did a little trade for it. I was like, I'll just, and she, so she edited, but she's not like a sort of in the nutrition field at all. So I think it's pretty good. So, but I feel good about that. I mean, it's in the word length. I feel like it kind of showcases my strengths. My one thing, I graduated 2012 with a 3.0. I was very average. I had a lot, like a couple of setbacks, like my parent, I talked about it in my personal statement, my parents getting cancer and it was hard. It was a rough, yeah, it was a lot. So I put that in my statement, and I took 2 classes this past semester through SDSU because I live in San Diego now.
Okay.
And I got A's, and so that's good. It's still like the 3.0, you know. But anyways, I have a lot of experience, and that I feel good about that. And so I'm applying for Sodexo's internship because I work for Sodexo, and yeah, and I'm excited about that. But I know it's competitive and all the things, but I've talked to people. They're like, oh, they look for experience more than more than GPA. I mean, I've done everything I can do. I'm like, I've taken 2 classes. Like I got A's. Like I'm doing the best. I have one more I'm taking this fall, before the start of the internship. Hopefully, if I get matched. But I've also been in contact with a couple other distance internships to just have a second. I like to kind of protect myself in that way where like if I don't get matched, it's not the end of the world. So I'm going to apply. Yeah. So I'm going to apply to Sodexo's pre-select August 18th. And then Be Well Solutions, I've been talking with their director, Katie, and they have a fall match too. So I'll apply to that if I don't get into Sodexo's. And then Wellness Workdays is another one I've been talking to as well. If that, I could do that they only have a spring match. So I have options. It's just more, with Sodexo's, they find the clinical for you. And in San Diego, it's huge. It's super hard.
For sure.
And because Utah has an affiliation with Sharp, right? You were in Utah.
Yeah, we had a ton of students in the San Diego area. And I didn't work with the students in California, another faculty member did, but I know it was like, we've got really great connections with these hospitals.
Yeah.
But if you don't have those connections, it's a lot harder
It's a lot harder. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I've even thought about, I'm from the East Coast, I'm from Maine. And I was even thinking about going home for the clinical rotation, I don't want to do that because I want to get a job. I want to be in my internship and then be like, you have a job here. Like,
definitely. Yeah. No,
yeah. And that's the kind of person I am. I just feel like I make connections super easily. And I just know I have that. And I'm almost 31. Like I have 10 years on a lot of people. I have that experience, and not to to my own horn, but I do feel like that could happen. So I don't want to I don't want to do that in Maine if I have to.
Not where I want to work, not where I want to connect.
Exactly. So I think that's why I'm kind of and the woman through Be Well was like, we have affiliations with Alvarado Hospital, and I have a bunch of nurse friends here that worked at Alvarado. So there's things that I'm just kind of taking one step at a time. Like right now, my application's complete. My personal statement's complete. I have to make an e-portfolio for Sodexo, which is what I'm working on between now and August 1st. I want to have everything done by August 1st. And my friend here, he does some graphic design for a company here. He's like, I'll help you with that. I have my pictures and my blurbs, but I'm like, this is your zone of genius, is what I like to call it, So, and then I'm trying to think of everything else I wrote down. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. My recommendations, I'm waiting on one more, but I've been in contact with her. I still have 2 months, these are just a couple quick questions, but Diecast saves the info, right? Like, when you go in there, when they say they closed for a month.
Okay, I actually just wrote down, I'm like, I need to make sure she knows they're shutting down. So they do close for a month. I have had a Diecast account for several years.
Okay.
And I have never lost information.
Yep.
I have heard from 1 or 2 students who, whenever it did close, they did lose information.
Okay.
So what I would say to you is, it's good it's closing. That was my first one. To know.
Yes.
So it's shutting down. There is a way you can, and I have a YouTube video that explains this. I can send it to you.
Okay.
I'll give you a summary of this call. There's a way you can download PDF versions of your application. So worst case scenario, it's wiped, you have a copy, and then you have a crappy day of copying and pasting stuff back in.
Yep.
But you're not like, I have to remember the random details that I had from my experiences, and I don't remember exactly what whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I can show you where that is. Obviously, if you've got Word documents or whatever of your personal statements and the final version, keep those. So you can just copy and paste that in.
Yeah.
And then Yeah, I mean, that's basically my suggestion. Make sure you have like an offline version to refer to, just in case when you open up Dicus mid-July.
Oh, I would have a heart attack.
Yeah, because for pre-select, let's see, Dicus is, what is it?
It's until July 17th.
Yeah, July 15th or 17th or something like that. And so where you're doing pre-select, like,
yeah,
you're only going to have a few weeks to get it back in there. If it,
right.
I mean, ideally you open it up and you're like, oh, it's all there.
Right. And I mean, I'll call diecast too. I mean, I've asked them a couple questions, like my DPD, you know, it's a new director now, and she sent me like a course list that was like outdated. I was like, so I've been like, you know, I've been kind of,
okay,
you know, the whole back and forth thing. I've asked them a couple questions, but I'll just call them after this and ask them.
Like, yeah, just double check. I mean, I don't know what it is that some random students, it doesn't carry over and others do, but everything I've ever had is carried over. I've never actually submitted, obviously. So I would think that's a good simulation of someone who started their application before it opened for their match and then just got tried back in. So I will send you a video just so you can see that offline version that you can save as a PDF. And then, like I said, anything that you've already got in a Word document, keep it in that Word document. So it's there.
Yeah, I haven't even copied and pasted my personal statement over yet, just because I don't need to. You know, there's like little words like I'll think of when I'm like having a, you know, an aha moment. I'm like, that's gonna go in there. I have like, I'm at like 980 words. I'm like, I have a couple.
Oh, you have some space then.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then what else did I say? So yeah, with pre-select, I mean, this, you might have not even know this, but she said I don't have to do anything with D&D matching. Like there's I don't have to open it. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to. I mean, that will only come for the actual match. Pre-select, you should get, I mean, my program did pre-select, and it's like we had deadlines where we had to let them know whether or not they got a pre-select spot by X date, so that if they needed to get into the regular match, they had a chance to make changes or whatever. So yeah, you don't need to do D&D digital. If they accept you in pre-select, you'll get information another way. And then they actually, just so you know this, they will be required to tell D&D Digital, so-and-so as students accepted a pre-select spot. So they should not show up in your match anywhere.
Got it.
They're covered. If they show up in your match, then they're doing sneaky behind the scenes stuff.
That's what I was confused about, because it was like, it said, we'll let them know. And I was like, well, why would you let them know if I'm not doing? That's what I was, because I saw it on the Sodexo's website. I was like, this seems weird. Like, why would they let them know if I'm not going to even be on their radar at all? So that would be weird.
I mean, there might be some student out there that goes to pre-select because a program had pre-select, but their actual preference is to be in a program that didn't have pre-select. But if they get a pre-select spot, it's like you don't get to go in the match. You don't get to take that spot from another student, because by that time it's going to be too late for the pre-select program to be like, oh, we have an open spot, and then it's like you just took a spot away from two students and you're one person, and that's rude.
Totally. And that's extra money and time. Like this process is already like,
why would you do that to yourself?
Yeah, totally. Okay, cool. Yeah, and then it's just like money stuff. So I mean, I'll worry about the D&D after. I definitely will have you check over my application, make sure it's all, you know, it looks all good. I think, I mean, even like as far as like the intricate things, like with just like the little blurbs about each thing, I mean, is there any rhyme or reason to that? I mean, I put like kind of like bullet points, but not even bullets, but I did spaces between each.
Do you mean for like your work and volunteer experience?
Exactly.
Okay. That, the key there is to make sure that you're highlighting any transferable skills. And people wonder, like, paragraphs or bullet points. It doesn't really matter as long as the information is there. I think the key is making sure that your style becomes consistent, so that whoever's looking at your application can then get like, okay, here, the one I saw most often, and it's kind of my own personal preference, is like a paragraph followed by bullet points. So a little paragraph saying, this is a little bit about my role. When I say I was a sandwich artist at Subway, it means this, versus when I say I was the head baker at the bakery, it means this. And then they can just say, I was doing food prep and managing a team of 3 people. And then here are my, you know, bulleted responsibilities, focusing on the management, the transferable skills.
Yeah.
One's not better than the other. I think the key is the information there, and is whoever will be reading your application, are they going to know, like, are they going to be able to pick out and be like, yes, they definitely did have, the title is sandwich artist, but yes, they did have management responsibilities as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
that's exactly how it's laid. Yeah. When I was doing that, I'm like, I'm not just going to put like, manage the team. Like, no, because I did, like, I'm like, and I would hire people, like, what are you, like, show me your uniqueness and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
And manage a team of 5 people. Like, it's just like every resume advice you've ever gotten, accomplishments, quantifiable. I mean,
yeah,
some people like maybe start by just copying and pasting their resume into there. I think you should take advantage that you have more space in the DICAS application to add a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you got the 5 bullet points on your resume, copy and paste them in, and then add to whatever, the character limit allows. But put in the numbers. How many people did you manage? Were you hiring? Were you firing? Were you doing evaluations? Were you training? It doesn't matter if it was in, what did you say, you're in massage therapy or.
Well, I've done so many things over. I'll have you look at my resume too, if that's part of, if in the 40-minute call, I put the past 10 years. It's good. Like, I think it's, everything I've done has been in nutrition, or the wellness field. It's not, I haven't ever left it. So it's all just like, and after college, I worked at a restaurant for 5 years and then kind of went to massage school and did that. And then out in California, I got a job with a company doing some community outreach, managing a team, like farm to table stuff with, and then now I work for a food company doing some like social media stuff and like working with farms, and now I work at Sodexo. So it's kind of like all the things, but it's just like from year to year. And I definitely, every blurb I put, I kind of like, and I like learning, flexibility in the workplace. Like, I put that. So that's, but I could definitely add more. I put at least like three little paragraphs for each one. So it's not, but there's definitely more room, to put more. So
don't feel like you need to max out the character limit just to max out the character limit.
Okay. Like, that's my next question.
Some people put like 3 bullet points. And and it's like,
no.
Use the space. You've got the space.
Yeah.
So what I tell people is, because depending on what type of program or which program you're applying to, some of them are like, we're looking for specific types of experience, or they're looking for a certain number of hours. That all varies by program. But whatever they're looking for as what they count in the work and volunteer experience, if you leave it off the application, it does not count.
Right.
So many people wonder, like, should I even put this position on there? I don't know if it counts. And it's like, if they never see it, it doesn't count. It doesn't matter if you were literally the assistant to the dietitian. If you don't put it on your application, it doesn't count.
Yeah. Okay. That was things I thought about too. Like, I just added that I was like a, Academy of Nutrition Dietetics member in college. I haven't been, the $300 a year thing I haven't been paying for after college, but I was in college.
Yeah, include all of that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, and like, and just like the field hockey club in college, like I did that, and everything. So that's what I'm kind of like, I think I've done, I think I'm proud of it. I'm proud of my application. I feel like I've taken a lot of time, and I would totally apply to Utah's if I didn't need so many other classes to take. I was like, oh my God, because it's been so long, So
yeah, I had that written down as well. Have you checked recency requirements for the programs you're applying to?
I have, and basically that's why I took 2 classes this semester that I needed for wellness work days. Be Well was like, those classes are fine. I have to take 1 more for Sodexo, which is medical nutrition therapy, but I took a science class, and because my science GPA was low, it was low. It was bad. I didn't do well. I got like C's, and I think I got 1 B and like 1 D. It was just, when 10 years ago, it was not good. And I talk about that in my personal statement. I think it shows through in who I am today, especially in an interview. I think I'm a great candidate, but it was what it was. And and I'm glad I took a science class now, this past semester, to show like I can get an A in this now, it's not, but at the same time, I understand, like, Utah's was like, don't apply if you have less than a 3.0 or whatever. And I get it. It's fine. So it honestly makes my decision easier, because it's
it's just good that you have been looking into that, because I would hate for you to apply and they're like, sorry, our recency requirement is that this course is X number of years old and yours is more than that.
Yep, totally. Yeah, that's why it's been like this and this and this. And I think that if something doesn't work out with Sodexo, it is what it is. And like, I'll go, for the distance one, which I do think I'll get into that. Like, I think they accept a lot of students, it seems like. And and it just seemed like, I don't know. I have, I have a good feeling about all of it. I just want to make sure everything is good, and crossing the T's and just getting you to check it. And some of the programs out there, I'm sure like, are like hundreds of dollars for like to have someone look over your application. And I was like,
I know they're expensive.
It's like, and I get, I get it. You know, you charge what you're worth. And I've dealt with that in my business too. You know, you have to charge, but still I'm like, I can't, you know, there's so many discouraging things that make you think that you're not going to get a DI. And I'm just like, no, I mean, I don't know. And then someone referred me to you and this has been lovely. So
yeah. Okay. Well, let me tell you a little bit just as we got a few minutes so I don't forget.
Yep.
For the Ask Me Anything call, I mentioned in the email, if you want to use that as kind of a live review and look over of your application, it's best to do it closer to your application date.
Okay.
So yeah, and it can look like anything. I've looked at people's personal statements in a Word document. I've kind of been like, you know, they pull up Dicus and we go through and they're like, first I want to talk about experiences. And then if we have time, we'll jump over to resume, personal statement, whatever. So it can really cover whatever you want. And it can be, we're sharing screens. I'm giving you tips, you know, just verbally. I do offer also like a thorough review of whatever. So if I'm just going to use the personal statement as an example, even though these are very comforting years. If you wanted to do just a thorough review of your personal statement, we'd chat about it a little bit. You'd send it to me. I would look over it very thoroughly, give feedback, and then send it back to you. And you can choose which of those revisions fit in well, which don't, whatever. So those are kind of the different levels. And then I've got that for like different parts of the application and also the application as a whole. If you're just like, 40 minutes or 45 minutes, however long that call is. Cover it. I want the in-depth of everything.
Okay.
You will chat about it, send it my way, and I'll give you that feedback for the whole thing.
Cool.
So those are kind of your options. And I will send you the links to all of those. You can read through them and make the call of what's a good fit for you.
Great.
And look, I don't think you need any of my tools at this time necessarily. Like I have a personal statement sample pack that gives an example of personal statements, but if you've already written yours, that's kind of just like, if you need some encouragement that you're on the right path, but I think the fact that you have, you know, like you said, 10 years on everyone, that makes a really big difference on kind of making the call of just the gut feeling of kind of knowing, am I on the right track or am I not? I feel like that comes a little bit just with time.
Oh, absolutely. And my DI director, you know, my DPD director from 10 years ago, we had a Zoom call, you know, a few months ago, and she was just like, they look for people like you know, the people that are like, you know, I had some really like a really hard time. And then I came back and I was like, you know what? Now's the time. Like, what am I doing? You know, and all the roads pointed me here. And it's like, and I definitely showcase that. And it's just competitive. So I'm just like, if there's someone that has the same as me and has a better GPA, that's who they're going to, and I understand, you know, I'm not like, oh my God, like it is what it is. So I'm just kind of like, I'm going to do my best and do, you know, with, you know, not paying every single thing in my bank account, but also, you know, reaching out for help and everything. So I so appreciate this call. That was so like, I'm just so grateful. So
Can I ask who made the referral?
Claudia.
In Madrid.
Yeah. Is that her? Yeah. She got matched.
That's what's in my head.
I think so. Yeah. She got matched to Sodexo's.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. She's so great. She's awesome. Yeah.
I'm glad she put you in touch with me. That's great.
Yeah. And I will do the same thing. I mean, it's a no-brainer, you know, there's what'd you say?
Please spread the word. Word of mouth is really just the main way anything happens.
That's how I started my business, doing massage. Like I never ever tried. Really. I was just like, oh, you heard my cool. All right, here we go. Is that what you want to do? Like with your work? You're not the internship director anymore?
No, I mean, Application Insider is all I do right now. So.
Oh, cool. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, you can grow. I mean, this is just good, especially with the master's thing now. Like, yeah, you can definitely grow.
So yeah, there's a lot coming up. It's crazy.
Yeah. Good. Well, I'm happy for you, and I'll be in touch. Thank you so much for all the information. And yeah, I'm thinking, closer to August, we'll yeah,
definitely. I mean, if you wanted to look at Dicus, we can do it for, you know, the next 6 weeks anyway, really.
Right. Oh, exactly. So yeah, I think the personal statements or the applications due August 18th, but yeah, like beginning of August is when I want to have it like done. So
yeah. Okay. And I think that, I mean, having that early deadline is going to be really great, because then if you miss it by a couple days, you're not out at all.
Oh, and I meant to tell you, they did say by September 1st, I would know. So
so they would have that back. Yeah. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Have a great weekend.
You too. I'll send you a summary of all this so you can look at the links, anything, and then just let me know if you have any other questions.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you, Nicole.
Bye.
Bye.
A huge thank you to Allison for her willingness to share this brainstorm call with all of you. I should have said at the top of the call, she did give me her permission to share this call. I've got the video here on my YouTube channel. The audio is also in my podcast, and I am so grateful for Allison's willingness to share her experience. I know that as you're working on your application, you might not think that other people have the same questions that you do, or it can feel like a little isolating to be working on your application if you're working on it by yourself. But so many of the questions that come up in one call are also helpful for other students. So I'm very grateful that Allison was willing to share so that you could maybe benefit from some of the things we talked about and even just see what a brainstorm call is like. So down in the caption of this video, I've got links to anything that Allison and I talked about. I've included all of the same links that I gave to Allison with her call summary. So it's just like you get the same information she did. Plus, I've included a few extras. There were a few things that weren't available or just I hadn't put together yet by the time that Allison and I spoke for her brainstorm call. But at the time of this recording, they are available. And I thought, you know what? Why not just throw those links in for everyone else who's watching or listening so they get that bonus information? It's still applicable to the topics that came up, and it can still be really useful for students who are working on their application. So make sure you go and check out the links down below. If you want to schedule your own brainstorm call, it's a free 20-minute phone call. Who doesn't want that? It also fits into every RD2B budget. If that's what you're looking for, you can do so at applicationinsider.co/brainstorm call, or there's a link in the caption. If you just want to set up a time to chat, make sure you're starting off right, or just double check that you're headed in the right direction with the application that you're putting together. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you again to Allison for your willingness to share. And with this insider insight, your application is sure to stand out.